Imagine waking up one day and realizing that motivation no longer comes and goes like the weather. It no longer depends on mood, luck, or sudden bursts of inspiration. Instead, it becomes something stable, something that stays with you, guides you, and supports you like an inner engine that never burns out. Calm motivation. A state where drive and clarity exist together, where your mind is steady and your actions feel aligned with who you want to become. To understand this kind of motivation, we need to understand how your brain actually works when you're trying to change your life. Most people believe motivation comes from intensity, from pressure, stress, deadlines, the inner voice that screams, "Do it now or else." But that voice is not motivation. It's cortisol speaking. And cortisol has one job: survival. When cortisol rises, your heart beats faster. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your attention narrows to immediate threats. Your brain stops thinking long-term because long-term thinking is a luxury of safety. In this moment, everything inside you is wired to react, not to grow. That's why people burn out. That's why New Year resolutions die in February. That's why people believe they lack discipline. It's because they're running on emergency chemistry. You can't build a long, steady journey on hormones that were designed for sprinting away from danger. And yet, for years, sometimes decades, people try to push themselves through stress, believing it makes them stronger, believing it means they are driven. But chronic stress doesn't create strength. It creates exhaustion. It breaks the connection between action and progress. It makes every challenge feel heavier than it truly is. Now imagine the opposite biology. Imagine you start your day not with a rush, but with a centered mind. The moment you breathe deeply, the nervous system shifts. Cortisol drops, and something beautiful begins to happen. Your dopamine levels rise, not the unstable spikes that come from distractions and instant gratification, but the slow, stable release that signals your brain, this matters. Keep going. This steady dopamine is the foundation of habits. It links effort to reward. It makes consistency feel natural. And for many people, this is the first time in their lives that motivation stops being chaotic and becomes predictable. But the real transformation happens when the prefrontal cortex comes online. This is the part of the brain responsible for vision, strategy, emotional regulation, and willpower. It is the architect of your future. When your prefrontal cortex is active, you can see beyond today. You understand why your efforts matter. You can delay gratification. You can break patterns that used to control you. You can think rationally even when life becomes difficult. And here's the truth very few people understand. Your prefrontal cortex works best only when you are calm. This means that the calm state you experience is not laziness. It's not weakness. It's the biological doorway to long-term motivation. When you learn to live in that state more often, you unlock a different version of yourself. One that is not constantly fighting, not constantly surviving, not constantly trying to outrun fear. You begin to operate from clarity. You begin to make choices that align with your values. You begin to build momentum that isn't based on adrenaline, but on a deeper understanding of your path. Think about how your life changes when cortisol is no longer the driver. Suddenly you stop confusing noise with productivity. You stop mistaking urgency for importance. You no longer feel guilty for not rushing. Instead, you begin to realize that every meaningful accomplishment in your life came from moments of clarity, not panic. All your best decisions were made when you were calm. All your strongest ideas came when your mind was quiet. All your real growth began when you finally slowed down enough to listen to yourself. Calm motivation does not mean moving slowly. It means moving intentionally. There is a difference. When your mind is steady, You stop wasting energy on overthinking, comparing yourself to others, or planning excessively without acting. You spend less time in emotional turbulence. You detach from impulsive reactions. You focus on the one step you can take right now. And those steps, taken consistently, compound faster than any rushed, chaotic effort ever could. Picture your goals: financial, physical, emotional, personal. Many people chase them in waves, high energy followed by collapse. Their energy looks like a roller coaster, but calm motivation turns that roller coaster into a steady, rising slope. It may not look dramatic in the moment, but it becomes unstoppable over time. The brain loves patterns. When you repeat something in a calm state, your brain interprets it as safety and stability. It says, "We can do this forever." And that is how real discipline is born. Not through pressure, but through calm repetition. Now think about dopamine again. The world today is designed to hijack it. Quick messages, quick likes, quick entertainment. All spikes, no stability. But when dopamine spikes too frequently, the baseline drops. Life becomes dull. Effort feels painful. Discipline disappears. Calm motivation, however, restores this baseline. When you move slowly, focus deeply, and act intentionally, dopamine becomes your ally again. The brain stops searching for shortcuts and starts rewarding the process itself. Suddenly, working on your goals feels good. Not because the results come quickly, but because your mind learns to find meaning in the work. This is why some people seem unstoppable. They don't have more motivation than you. They don't have more talent. They have a calmer nervous system. They aren't pulled in 1,000 directions. They don't panic at obstacles. They don't rely on adrenaline to move forward. Their biology works for them, not against them. And all of this leads to one truth. Motivation is not something you wait for. It's something you cultivate by shaping the chemistry of your own mind. When your prefrontal cortex leads, you start making decisions that are not emotional reactions, but commitments. You understand that a bad day doesn't ruin anything. You understand that perfection is not the goal. You understand that consistency is built from gentle pressure, not self-punishment. You recognize that you can rest without quitting. You realize that you don't need to become a different person overnight. You just need to be calm enough to become 1% better today, then again tomorrow, then again the next day. Slowly, you begin to trust yourself. And that trust becomes a feedback loop. The more calm, consistent actions you take, the more capable you feel. The more capable you feel, the calmer your mind becomes. And suddenly, life does not feel like a battle. It feels like a craft you are mastering. Calm motivation teaches you that the strongest version of you is not the one who shouts, fights, and forces outcomes. It's the one who breathes, observes, and chooses with clarity. It's the version of you that doesn't panic when things go wrong. The version that doesn't crumble under pressure. The version that knows how to move forward even when the world is loud. This is not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally anchored. When you are calm, you can feel everything without being controlled by anything. You can experience frustration without stopping. You can experience fear without avoiding. You can experience setbacks without collapsing. You become stable. And stability creates results. Over time, your calm state becomes an identity. You wake up with intention. You move through your day with purpose. You end your day with clarity. And eventually, you look back and see a path that is consistent, powerful, and deeply aligned with who you want to be. This is calm motivation. Not a spark, but a flame. Not a push, but a direction. Not a fight, but a flow. And once you learn to live in this state, your life begins to expand in ways you never thought possible. You realize you don't need chaos to grow. You don't need fear to act. You don't need adrenaline to create. You only need a calm mind, a steady heart, and the belief that slow, deliberate steps are powerful enough to build the life you dream of. And the truth is, they are. If this message resonated with you, make sure to subscribe to Success. And Zen, share this video with the people you care about. Someone you love might need these words today. And don't forget to leave a like. It helps more than you can imagine.